Welcome to another episode of AnimeCons TV. My name is Doug Wilder, and this week we've got a bit of a shorter episode, but a really fun announcement and something I've been looking to tell you guys about for a while now, and finally I get a chance. Have you ever been watching one of our podcast episodes and thought, man, that looks like fun, but I wish I could be there as it happens, see it live? Well, I've got some really cool news to share with you guys. This year at AnimeNEXT in Atlantic City, I'm doing the very first AnimeCons TV live panel. What is AnimeCons TV live? Well, I'll be hosting a live panel at the convention. Sorry to all you fans of Sketch and Shiva and Patrick and Elizabeth. They couldn't make it this time, but we're hoping that this is going to be an idea that we can bring to other conventions down the road. So, it's just me for this time, but I'll be hosting it. We can't quite stream it yet, but we're going to put parts of it into a future episode of the podcast, and of course the full version will be added to the AnimeCons TV extra feed, so even if you can't be there, you're still going to get to see it. You just won't see it as it happens like some of the other people. What are we going to be doing on this panel? Well, the first time around we're going to start with interviewing some special guests. I've got a couple people that I can't mention yet because we're still working on it. I don't want to make promises I can't keep, but we're talking with a few people. I can tell you that at the very least, Vince Avarello, who's the convention chair for AnimeNEXT, has agreed to be one of our panelists, so he'll be one of our guests there. I'm going to have at least one game for everyone to watch and a couple people for the audience to partake with. So if you come to the panel and attend it, you're going to even get the chance to win something. And hey, who doesn't like winning free stuff? That's pretty cool. I'm going to emphasize right now that this is our first time doing this, so we're going to love to have as much support as we can from our fans, and there's plenty of ways to do that. First, probably the most obvious is if you're going to AnimeNEXT this year, it's going to be held June 8th through the 10th in Atlantic City. If you're attending, look for us in the schedule and make a point to come. If you're looking for a convention to go to in early June, maybe consider going to AnimeNEXT and checking us out. Second, if you can't make it to the convention, but if you've been watching our podcast for a while, you've seen some of the interviews we've had with people from all sorts of areas of conventions. If you've always watched one of those interviews and thought, man, I wish they would ask these people about blank, whatever sort of topic you think would be interesting about conventions and things like that, you can send us some questions that you'd like us to ask panelists in an email with the subject line ACTV Live Questions. You can do that by sending it to podcast@animecons.tv. Once again, the subject line is ACTV Live Questions. We're going to go through them, pick some of the best, and make sure we ask them to our panelists. And if we select yours, we're going to make sure we give you credit. So we'll say, hey, Bill from Wichita asks whatever. Just make sure if you are going to send us a question for the panelists, you send it to us no later than June 5th. That just makes sure we have time to review it and put everything together for the panel. Finally, since this is going to be our test run of this, we're going to need input and ideas from you guys. We want to hear what sort of things you'd like us to do. We're going to try and do this at other conventions down the road. So if you have an idea of a segment you'd like to see us have in a live panel, or if there's a convention you think we should consider for the panel, that is cool. We're not going to make any promises that will be that, but it can't hurt. Think about conventions you've seen us report on, or ones that we could easily get to, things like that. But any ideas are fine. Give us some suggestions. We want to hear from you. Once again, if you're a fan of the podcast, we always are looking for feedback and always want to hear about how we can make ourselves better. So let's send it that way. So once again, the very first AnimeCons TV Live is going to be held at AnimeNEXT in Atlantic City, New Jersey, which is held June 8th through the 10th. If you want to learn more about that convention, you can find my report on it from last year in our archives, as well as I think a couple other years as well, way back when it was in its previous locations. If you have questions that you want us to ask our guest panelists, you can do that by sending us an email with the subject line ACTV Live questions to podcast@animecons.tv. Likewise, you can use that email address to send us any input or suggestions you'd like to see us as we start figuring out how we want to keep doing AnimeCons TV live events. I'm Doug Wilder, and that's it for this time, and I hope to see some of you guys at the very first AnimeCons TV Live. Thank you.